Let's see. Let's see if this works. And there he is, Mr. Parillo. How are you?
Buenos dias, senor.
How is life in the cold Northeast?
Cold, very, very cold.
Hello, Waters. Hello, Aspiration. Hello, Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Let me see if I can get that wave out real quick. There we go. There we go. There we go. I am going to try to keep up with this stuff tonight.
You're getting good. You've already started off pretty slick.
I know. I know. I was showing people my seed catalogs a little earlier and trying to explain that something like this right here, Johnny's Seeds, is pretty much porn to somebody like me. So, yeah, I might have ordered a bunch of stuff out of there. The plant lady, how are you?
So where Playboy and Penthouse used to be the magazines you looked forward to in the mail.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I don't speak Spanish, which is really a crying shame, Carolina, because my grandfather was from Colombia. But no, third generation, we kind of lose it. Hello, plant lady. How are you? Welcome to Watch Me Getting Drunk and Wayne making fun of me.
No, we call this drinking and thinking on Long Island is what we call this, which is watching Sean get drunk and me making fun of him. Just for the record, though, I do speak Spanish.
Oh, well, then you can talk to Carolina.
No, I don't speak it well anymore. What is your drink du jour this evening?
I've decided, due to the wild and crazy Florida weekend that I've had, I will still be polishing off the Glenlivet single batch. Tina,
Nice.
How are you now? Tina is a family friend, and she is all the way from Alaska. So Alaska's enjoying us. Hello, Debbie.
Nice.
So it'll be a Glenlivet. I'm going to polish this off, and depending how the night goes, we might be dipping into the Magnum size bottle.
Wow, very nice. I have something special for us. Hibiki.
Very nice.
Centauri whiskey. Now, maybe you can explain to me, Sean, what makes something a Japanese whiskey as opposed to just a whiskey? Is it just because it's from Japan?
Yeah. Yeah, no, so they brew it a little differently, and it's what they use in there. Scotch is whiskey made in Scotland that is very peaty and uses obviously Scottish barley, and it can only be made in Scotland to be called Scotch. I will definitely say hi to Rach for you, Tina. She's bathing little man right now. So, so that's for it to be Scotch. Whiskey can be made anywhere around the world. Irish whiskey is a hair on the dog type of drink for me. And then you have the American whiskeys, and some of them have gotten very, very good, and some of them are still really, really bad. And then Japanese whiskey, which tends to be very good because they copied the Scottish whiskeys. They always set their marks high. So the one you have is actually quite a good one.
And it's in my Wonder Woman shot glass.
Yeah, so, well, you're all class one.
Look, there's low class, and then there's my class that's slightly below low class. So that's.
Hello, hi, how are you? Blanton's is a wonderful drink, Tina, and if I have a way of getting it up to Alaska to you, I will definitely get it.
Nice. Now,
we tried shipping her a bottle up there, and it's near impossible.
Now, does Florida have the big whiskey sort of brewing going that they have now going out here on Long Island? Like, there's a lot of whiskey brewers.
No, it's beer breweries are pretty big down here, but no, they're whiskey for down here from what I've seen. Unless you're going to where the tourists go, it's going to be a lot of Johnny Walker, which is like ugh. And I don't want to hear about Johnny Walker green or blue. It's all ugh.
Oh, come on.
No, it's terrible.
That's a terrible thing to say, insulting Johnny Walker like that.
If they like it, great.
Now the important things. Let's get some updates going here. How's the pig? How's Hugh Hefner?
Oh, Hugh Hefner is doing great. His girlfriend, which we have not named, I've saved every single one of the names put up there, and we will pick one. His girlfriend, I think, this is the last week because she got the pigs off the suckling. She's been fixed. So we should be getting her next weekend. And then they move into the pig mansion out into the pasture.
I love that your rolling pig love machine will be hitting the pasture together. I really
absolutely. Trust me, it will get a vanity license plate as well.
I hope that you collect the data on which section that the piglets are conceived in, so that way
No more piglets. They've both been fixed. Thank God. He's got 30 piglets. All right. I should have named him Wilt Chamberlain.
What's the point of having two pigs? Boom chicks, wow wow. That's true. We could use a little music here, like wow wow. What is the point of having two pigs then, if you're not going to have piglets for little baby bacon?
So I would love to have hogs here, because I really want to start really going full forward into regenerative agriculture. But my wife is very adamant that we don't eat the livestock right now. So my plan, it's a very sinister, very Sith, dark side type plan is I lull them into a sense of security with the two potbelly pigs that root around and break up the soil, which is all good, and they have names for those. Then I start getting the piglets in for the ones that get shipped off and then provide us meat later on. But they've got the ones that they've already liked. So that's the plan, because when the system crashes again and gets really bad, I will be okay with meat.
You mean January 20th?
Hello, sneakers. Meat January 20th. No, I mean meat like, when Tyson Foods puts out again that, everybody in the Chicago plants have the newest strain of COVID. Hello, Megan. Hello, Woods. And they're not shipping out any meat, and I can't get the food from that I need to get. I will call up my local guy and say, hey, you want to come pick up a pig? I need some bacon.
I got to say, I was looking forward to visiting you with my children and letting them pick out which piglet should be slaughtered for the meal.
You're a sick individual.
I know. They need to – look, Old Yeller, great book. You know why? Because he had to deal with real issues in it with his dog. And I want my children, like, if they're gonna
Alexander.
If they're gonna be eating stuff, they know pigs. Bacon comes from pigs. I've told them stories of chickens being killed in my house or when was traveling.
Chickens come in April, by the way.
Yeah, but you're not gonna kill them, are you? You're just gonna
No. We got egg layers, and we've got Easter egg layers coming in, which are multicolored eggs. How cool is that? And then I was looking up what Dan Barber does, who is. I went to his restaurant in New York City before all the craziness happened, and it is out of all the Michelin chefs and all that, just the most phenomenal food I've ever had. And he feeds his chickens. You're gonna love this. He feeds his chickens cayenne pepper in their food, and he does it because it turns, instead of your egg whites being white, it turns them red.
Do you get the cayenne pepper flavor on them too?
Hey, Valerie. No. Nope.
So he's just doing egg food coloring.
Yeah, he's doing it all natural. I mean, but how brilliant is that, right? So I learned this. I went online, and because I had too much time like everybody else with COVID, and I've learned how to cook and become pretty good at it. And I learned hello, May. And I learned how to cook eggs a Gordon Ramsay way that actually is really freaking good. Hello, Cavi. So the plan is I've got my chickens here that will be free ranged. Saves me about $8 a dozen every time. I've got my chickens. I've got my chives that have been growing.
Nice.
Yep. I go down to the local dairy guy. Pick up my creme fraiche, mix that in. I'm all good. And then I have had everything. And then hopefully the wife will start making the bread. And I've had everything. It hasn't come from anywhere except for the creme fraiche from the, except from here. So that's been what I've been looking for.
Hi, Valerie Pope Joy 57. I just wanted to say the whole name.
So yeah, and I've got my purple Thai potatoes coming in this week, which I'm super excited about. Ube potatoes, which are amazing. And good night, Tina. Have a great night. All my love to you and your husband, and be safe. Tina's really a good person. Really, she's really sweetheart. Sue, oh Sue, my heart. So, so that's the general plan, is to get this stuff in, grow it here, and then I'm not dealing with it. And the biggest contention I've actually had is just been the soil here, which we talked about last
Yeah,
time.
we talked about. Yep.
It is not so it's an ube potato, plant lady. If you DM me, because in about 5 minutes I'll be a little slurry, which Sue will find funny. I will send you the link. It's actually an amazing Thai potato that I came across. I'm sorry, it's not a potato, it's a yam, which, so you don't understand. So just to give you a little background, in Florida, we have a problem with nematodes, and they love potatoes, right?
All right.
So end of the world, can't get meat. You want high calorie, not even nutritional, you want high calorie vegetables, right? Stuff that can get you through.
Yep.
So you want potatoes, you want yams. That should be what you're planting. This spring, you should get a couple of buckets, Wayne, whether you want to or not, and put some potatoes in there and grow potatoes.
Oh, I totally want potatoes this year.
Yeah.
Danielle and I were talking about this the other day, where I was like, I want to do some real, now that we have the 2 planters that we got from you and Rachel, I'm like, oh, I've actually got planters.
Yeah.
And I have a desire this time to actually plant stuff this year while I'm out by the pool. So
well, so the potatoes you'll love, and same thing. And so for us, potatoes, nematodes love potatoes. They will just crimp around the roots and do their thing and destroy them. Whereas yams, they won't touch. And yams can get like you can get a yam that's like a good 10, 15 pounds, right? So
is that where the term nice yams comes from?
Exactly. Or yam bags. That's right. If a girl sits there and says nice yam, or you, yeah, you know, exactly. So anyway, so we're watching, I'm watching, my wife is big in on Paul Hollywood with the baking. And so he went to LA and he saw I believe she was Thai, she may be in Vietnamese, but she was making these muffins and baked goods out of this purple potato, an ube potato, and a purple yam, which is an ube yam, which I was like, ooh, I want this. It's a yam, so the nematodes aren't going to touch them, and they can grow here. So I'm trying to collect as much yams as I can. So worst case scenario, I have high calorie food for everybody. Best case scenario, I don't need them, and I just make a lot of sweet potato pie that is purple. Because it's legitimately purple. How cool is that?
The Mighty Banana used to be purple in its original incarnation.
And carrots were multicolors as well. So how cool is that?
It just goes to show you we changed all the colors, and what we're really like, you know what would be cool? Purple.
Well, you know, and it's really funny because we all sit there and go, oh, we want heirloom. We want, you know, as close as the original. We don't want this hybridized stuff. But people don't really get it, that the reason why this stuff was hybridized is because, and mixed, is because the original one didn't taste that good.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up, sneakers? So you take a carrot that's you take an original carrot that was 500 years old, and you're going to eat it, and you're going to go, it tastes like dirt.
Yeah.
You plant one of the newer varieties now, and you put it in the ground, you take it out, and you're like, damn, this tastes good. You plant broccoli that's, I don't know, you find a broccoli seed that's a couple hundred years old, and you're going to sit there and go, I hate this. This is terrible. Why am I eating this? And then you sit there and you take a newer broccoli seed, and you're like, this is great. I love broccoli. I didn't realize I like broccoli. Now I like broccoli.
Now, when it comes to something, Plant Lady 13, totally agree. My blueberry cherry tomatoes were gorgeous, but not as tasty as I hoped.
Well, okay, so there's a reason for that. So there's 2 reasons for that. So, Plant Lady. So, one, they crossed an actual blueberry with a tomato because they wanted a higher antioxidant count. So they crossed them. But the reason why you don't get that real sweet tomato flavor is because you've crossed a blueberry with it, right? So the plant's got so blueberries like acidity and tomatoes kind of like acidity, so you have all this acid in there, and it really doesn't know what to do with itself. So You're going to get a great color that a chef will love, but you're not going to get the sweetness that you would say from like a fox cherry or a bumblebee. The yellow bumblebee cherry tomatoes are by far, it's like eating candy. Wayne, I give you those and a bottle of beer and a Mets game, and you just won't move. Like, or Red Sox. I don't remember which team you're with this week.
I'm a Mets fan now.
You're a Mets fan now, so you won't move. You will love the sweetness on those because of what they are. Whereas the blueberry tomatoes just look fantastic, but these are yellow with stripes. I mean, how cool is that? Hello, Rodriguez. So yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff that's out there that we all sit there and we're kind of like in this weird trend where we're thumbing our noses up at vegetables that we sit there and we go, no, I want heirloom or I want as close to pure. But you really don't, because if you ate it, you'd hate it. And if you try growing it, it's going to drive you crazy. Like you go and get a non-heirloom tomato that has a VFN, right? So it means it's been crossed with other tomatoes to make sure it's not susceptible. Hello, Sherry. So it's not susceptible to various funguses, which up in New York, right, or in these little enclosed micro environments, you don't have that problem, right? So you can grow tomatoes there that are pretty much out fucking standing. Like you would love. Down here, we've got a 2-month period to grow the tomatoes and pray to God that they don't get hit with a fungus because we have so much humidity. So, and the soil sucks. So you have all this stuff going on that makes it tough. So I want a tomato that's been bred to resist funguses. So there's the V on those two and the Fs, and then you have an N, right? So it's a V for the Vicillium, F for the other one, which I can't pronounce because I'm on my 4th Scotch, and then the last one, which is your N's, which is your nematodes, and it's been bred to be resistant to these.
So, but there's no.
I don't care about this whole, like, it's got to be pure permanent, like heirlooms, totally, like, I don't want that. I want to feed my family, or I want to have food.
So for me, though, when I'm growing my tomatoes this summer, I should just do heirlooms because.
If I was in New York, I would do nothing but heirloom tomatoes.
Okay.
Nothing but I would get, so you want sauce, get yourself a Roma or a San Marzano. Don't even think twice about it. Just go get those tomatoes. Down here, the humidity is so bad that the funguses go like that on them. If you don't put them in contained pots with a really good potting mix, your chances of nematodes or fungus is even higher. So you really just kind of want to play with it. But then it comes to a point where you're like, how much money am I spending to grow the damn tomato? Right? If it gets to a point where I want to grow a tomato because I like because I can't get a decent slice of pizza down here. Right? I can't. It's
right. We've talked about this.
If you're not from New York and you don't know better, you're like, it's pretty good. But for New Yorkers and certain parts of New Jersey, you're like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So I learned how to make my own pizza, which is fantastic, except for the fact that I either have to get canned tomatoes, like real canned San Marzanos, or I've got to grow my own. And if I can't grow them because of the humidity and can them later, thank God Rachel bought a canning system, what am I going to do? So yeah, if I were you, I'd grow all the organic tomatoes, all the heirlooms that I could. For down here, I'm going to grow anything that can survive that'll taste good.
Have you figured out what you can grow plant-wise that you can put in your alcohol? Because I think that's the important question.
Oh God, there's so much.
Okay, good. So there's still.
Oh God. So not only do I have pineapples growing, but then I've got the Hawaiian sugarloaf pineapples that just went in the ground the other day. So if you don't know what they are, so that you'll never see them in a supermarket because they don't ship well.
Okay.
But if you get one and you have one, they're so sweet you can eat the core.
Oh wow.
That's how sweet they are. Hello, Black King. How are you? So I've got those. I've got three of those that I ordered that, by the way, were not cheap. Just the heads, the seed heads that go in the ground, or the, what I've showed you the video on them.
Yep.
Those cost me $15 for three.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've got those. Those go in. Those just went in the ground, and those take 2 years to produce. But I mean, the amount that I can do with that is amazing. So Chicago pizza is the best. The times that I've been in Florida, there is no good pizza here. Everybody tells me is there good pizza, and then when I show up, I realize that they just don't know what good pizza is. So I wind up just saying, let's get a Cuban, because their Cuban sandwiches are fantastic. Bodega in St. Pete is off the charts.
By the way, there was a question about how your jackfruit is doing.
Jackfruit trees are about 1.5 feet. No, they're all close to 2 feet now. They're doing really well. I've got a dozen of them. If anybody needs one, I got extras I can ship. I mean, the damn things produce so much fruit, you can't keep up with them. But if you're a vegan, they're amazing, because that's what they use in all the vegan stuff. So, but yeah, no, they're doing great. One got hammered by the deer, but I just solved that by putting some fencing around it, and that was it.
You should have solved it by shooting the deer.
I'm not allowed to shoot them on the property.
But don't you have a big
HOA rules?
I thought you had a huge cattle ranch like right behind your house.
There's a huge cattle ranch behind us that's up for sale, and if I had the money, I'd buy all 65 acres. Hello, Nemeth. I'd buy all 65 acres, but I don't have that type of money, so I'm hoping I can cut a deal for a few acres in the back. But that being said, the jackfruit is it's growing, and they shoot out a taproot that'll push through concrete.
Ah.
So that's been good. But yeah, man, I mean, there's been some really cool stuff. There's been some real stuff where you just scratch your head and you learn. I've never had to deal with rabbits before. I had a rabbit come in and steal some of my Swiss chard, so now I don't like rabbits.
Oh, you should do a pen of rabbits though, because those are tasty to eat, and they multiply quickly. Have you ever had?
Go ahead, you can read it, Wayne.
Okay. Have you ever had pizza shipped in from New York? My friend that moved to Florida does that when she's wanting Chicago pizza.
I haven't had that. None of my friends have been nice enough to. I've realized that other than Wayne and like 3 other people, most of my friends were friends from business, and they haven't kept in contact. So now that I'm not in business with them anymore. So no, I haven't had that. I miss Gino's Pizza in Long Beach like you would not believe. I miss that pizza. And it's by far not the best pizza in New York, but it's a hell of a lot better than anything I had down here. But no, nobody's ever shipped it to me. I have a buddy who's driving down from New York. He's moving down to Florida. And he promised he's going to bring me some bagels. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Would you rather have pizza or bagel shipped?
Shipped, probably a bagel.
Probably the bagel.
If I was going to have it fresh, I want the pizza.
Yeah, I don't know if I could live without New York bagels. I've just gotten to wait. You can.
You make them yourself.
Yeah.
You can. You can make them yourself. Dude, you can learn anything on YouTube.
Well, that is true. I learned how to do podcasts on YouTube.
Which, by the way, you better get these things up, because the amount of freaking DMs that I get about this is stupid. But we were watching, again, another one of those Paul Hollywood things, because my wife's a baker, and he was in Israel, and he showed the Jerusalem bagel. And now every single day I'm sitting there going, I want a Jerusalem bagel. I want a Jerusalem bagel. I want a Jerusalem bagel.
Are those the ones that are like the size of someone's head?
They're pretty damn big. Apparently you eat it like a pretzel, like one of those New York City pretzel things. But when he almost started to cry eating it, I lost my, I was just like, you have to make this for me. The pizza is a frozen and then shipped overnight. I've heard about that. Again, listen, anybody wants to ship me a pizza, that's great. I'm too cheap to do it. I'm not working anymore. If I don't buy and sell stocks or real estate, I have no money. So I'm kind of living pretty cheaply. Hey, Ashley. I love Ashley. She's one of my best friends down here. I love her. Hello, Lady Jane. So yeah, so if I don't have somebody ship it down to me, I'd rather just make it myself at this point. And I heard Papaya King ships, by the way.
Really?
I heard Papaya King will ship.
Are people in Florida familiar with the awesomeness that is Papaya King?
Nobody knows Papaya King unless you're in New York.
Papaya King was a damned autocorrect. Kind of curious of what you were trying to type, Valerie. What great papaya? Boy, I haven't even been drinking that much. I still can't talk. It's a New York institution, and you used to be able to get them for $1 a piece, the hot dogs, and they were just the perfect 3 o'clock in the morning meal when you were out in the city.
The Papaya King is just, if New York ever opens up again, and I heard Cuomo's press conference, God, he's just a joke. But if New York ever opens up again and you go visit, you must go to Papaya King. You will thank me for it later. Like I will see a DM from you that says I went to Papaya King. No, don't be sorry. It's all good. I'm half in the bag. Don't worry about it.
Valerie, never be sorry with us. That just shouldn't be allowed. Sorry, the talk of Papaya King distracted me.
It's amazing when you have a few drinks when you're like, oh, I could drive into Manhattan now and kind of pick that up.
They're down to one, I think. I think there's
really?
Yeah, I think there's only one left. When back in the late 90s when I wasn't working, that's where I used to go to lunch every day because they had a recession special for $2.50. You could get 2 hot dogs and a medium Coke. And I still remember it to this day because it was just one of the best deals I ever got in the city. And I would just happily go there and eat my hot dogs.
I will eat papaya. Man, Papaya King is, it's just one of those, it's like Ray's Famous, man. There's just certain things in Manhattan that you have to go to. So it's been, there are certain things that when I go back to visit eventually, I will definitely hit.
So you're just going to
Papaya King and Ray's Famous is definitely it.
So we're just going to find you in Manhattan going from food place to food place, eating,
Oh, yeah. But what else is there? There's nothing else there. Who gives a shit?
Hey, you're a tourist now. You go to the Statue of Liberty, pal.
I've been to the Statue of Liberty, and when I was 12, it was amazing. Right now, it's like, it's a big statue in the middle of the thing. It's, it looks nice, but, where's Ray's?
How great would it be if there was a Ray's out on Ellis Island?
If there's a Ray's Famous out on Ellis Island, I'm not leaving Ellis Island. What are we drinking tonight? Well, I don't know. Wayne's drinking a Japanese whiskey.
Hey, Becky.
Hello, foodie. We're talking about food. How lucky for you. And I'm going to finish off tonight my Glenlivet 18 because I'm a big Glenlivet fan. I'm a big Scotch fan. I would make cocktails. I've got a great cocktail that I could put the recipe up for. But the problem is with cocktails is hello, Dyke Sculpt, sorry. The problem for me with cocktails is if I make a cocktail, because I drink so much so quickly, I have to get up and get it or make a giant jug. And then my wife gets worried. So
that's understandable.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to worry about.
Actually, you'll be happy to know that Cobra Kai, I believe it was, had a scene this season.
Don't tell me. I'm only on episode 3. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'm pissed that I know Elizabeth Shue comes back. Don't tell me.
You just spoiled that for everybody who hasn't seen it that far, but okay.
Good. I have to suffer. They should do.
The only thing I'll say about it, there's a scene where he's drinking Glenlivet 18, and I turned to my wife and I'm like, that's quality booze. I was like, he's showing his wealth nicely, or his desire for a good drink there. I'm like, Sean drinks that. That's good stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't drink it all the time, but only for drinking and thinking. But yeah, so yeah, no, you definitely, whatever Manhattan was, what it's become now is just a food scene.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's just become a food scene. Like you go to Wall Street, you see the Bowl, you see Wall Street. It's 2 minutes. Get me something to eat. You go down to, pick a district, right? It's always going to come down to where are we going to eat or where are we going to drink.
Yeah.
And so after a while, it's like, there's certain things that New York is really known for, and that's why you go to eat there. And there's certain things that, you don't. Like I've given up on barbecue in New York forever. Before we moved down here, I saw a Food Network thing about this guy in Brooklyn that was doing this amazing barbecue, and he was a Korean guy and all this other stuff. And it was so great. And we go in there. We were up in Westchester doing some plant buying, and then about 10 of us went down there and we did it. We went to this guy's place. And I'm talking about, this was a Michael Simon recommended this, right? So I like Michael. I've been to his place in Cleveland. His food in the Cleveland restaurant is in Lola's in Cleveland is fantastic. I went to this place and this is what he recommended. And I'm sure the owner's a lovely guy, but it was terrible. And then when I come down here, the worst barbecue down here is better than anything I have up there. So it's like, if you go to New York, and unless you're one of those people who can only eat steak, steak and French fries, eat foods that New York is known for. If you're in the South, eat food that the South is known for. If you're in the Midwest, like order a steak if you're in the Midwest, right? Because you're going to get a really good steak. It may not be cooked really well, but the quality will be there, right? So and the same. So now I'm gardening down here, and it's like, okay, I'm used to growing northern vegetables, tomatoes and cucumbers and eggplant and peppers, and I didn't even like eggplant, but you grow all this stuff, and then I'm down here, and the weather is so crazy. For a northerner, as a grower, it's so crazy that you sit there and you go, okay, well, what'll work here? And it's like, you know what? I know that if I get this onion from Italy, hello, MG Orchids. God, I love their page. You guys got to check out their page. Hello, Serotonin Garden. She's really sweet too. She's got a nice page. So I know that we are a zone 9B, right? So know your planting zone. And so I know that I want something, that will grow and do well here. Well, there's an Italian onion called Tropia onions. I think I mentioned this last time.
Yep.
So that grows in Calabria. Calabria is a 9B, 9A type zone. So so bring it in, right? Thai ginger grows really well here because it's the subtropics. So I'm bringing in plants that I can grow, that we can use and eat. I bought Rachel an herb drying rack. And so basil here, unlike New York, doesn't die. I've got a basil plant outside that, I'm not even kidding you, the stem on the basil plant is as thick as my finger. It's 3 years old.
Wow.
Which, I mean, how cool is that, right? So I've got this basil. I've got rosemary out there that just keeps giving. All we do is dry a rosemary. At some point, I'm going to start selling it. Parsley, same thing, oregano, and they just hold up. The problem is not the heat or the quick cold snap we might get. The problem for this stuff is they're Mediterranean herbs, and they like it warm and dry, and with a little bit of water, and then we get this humidity. So how do you combat that? Well, you put them in spots where even if we have the humidity, and then I put them on a drip line, they're not going to get that saturation that would rot them out and kill them out. And that's what you really need to do. Hey, Alex. So it's all about knowing where you live and what you're growing. And then when you start thinking, well, okay, I'm in the middle of this pandemic, and while we have the vaccine coming out, which could work, but now we've got a new strain and it couldn't work. And so, what's going to happen? And again, not that I'm worried about people I'm not worried about the whole world collapsing and it becoming The Walking Dead. Hello, London Dancer. How are you? What I'm saying is enough people get sick and they don't show up for work, or they can't go into a factory to send you out your meat or your food. What are you going to do? And we saw a little bit of that last summer. And that's why I'm like, look, grow your potatoes, right? Spring's coming up for you. I would plant some lettuce. I plant some herbs that you like cooking with that using. Worst case scenario is I planted some lettuce about 4 weeks ago. I'm out there and I'm cutting 3 different varieties of lettuce, and every night we're having fresh lettuce cut up. We're eating better, which is always great, except for the scotch. Hello, I am Elizabeth Thurina. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize. I'm about 3 scotches in right now. But so we've got this. So we're producing lettuce, which means I'm getting high quality organic lettuce that, because of the amount of organics I have in the soil, is lasting longer in the refrigerator if I don't want to eat the lettuce that day. But because we're having it, I'm not having to buy it. And I'm not having to buy supermarket quality. I'm not having to buy Whole Foods quality or better. And so how much money is that saving me? So if that's the worst case scenario, is I'm saying, you're growing your own vegetables, you're growing your own potatoes, you're growing your own stuff that can get you through, and you're saving X amount of money per year. I mean, hell, you look at it, and it's like a couple of car payments.
Yep.
That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario is, not the best case scenario, but the actual worst case scenario is that the system shuts down and you can't get the food that you need, and people start acting crazy. And you know what? You've got a couple of, you got 50, 60 pounds of potatoes that you grew in a couple of bags on your patio, and they're sitting there, and you've dried them out. And guess what? That's a lot of calories that can get you through a long way. And what did it cost you?
Presuming with some people have a green thumb. Mine's more of a bloody thumb. So hopefully I won't kill all of these vegetables.
No, you won't. The potatoes are super easy. Yams are super easy. Yams you might even want to look at because, the protein factor is so high on them. I bought we like to refer to this as the Southern Compound down here. I bought this place. My wife and I bought this place in 2017. I'd been looking to get out of New York for a long time, but we bought this place in 2017. We came down here in 2020 with the idea that we're going to be back to New York in March to sell my garden center up in New York, and then COVID hit, and then we just never left. And we're not going. We sold the garden center, and it's all worked out.
For those wondering, there was a question in the chat of how long Sean has lived in Florida.
Yeah. So I've been technically here for a year, but what I did was, because I sold my nursery up in New York, I stayed home and watched Peanut full time, which is why you guys see all the Peanut videos, which if anybody wants to know how to get a lot of followers on Instagram, just post videos of Peanut. And then so I've had to just figure out stuff that I want. So I've had time to garden and do things that I want to do, or I've always wanted to do and experiment with. And that's really what this stage of my life is. It's just taking things that I've always wanted to try and never had time in New York and figuring it out. And then you throw COVID on top of it. And if we can produce food that feeds us and saves us money, great. If the system drops down again, we'll be okay. So that's kind of been the reason. So we've only been here we've been here 1 full year. We're not heading back to New York. We sold the house up in New York. And we're not going. So we're just adding stuff, and we're building it out as we need, and we're putting in a solar system. We're not technically allowed to be off the grid, but again, if the system crashes, with the system we're putting in, the solar system, we'll be okay.
How can you put in a grid but technically not be allowed to be off the grid? Because isn't it just you flipping of a switch?
No, well, it's illegal to be off the grid in just about every state in the union. But the system that we're putting in is, if the grid goes down, solar power goes on, and it gives us the power to run the well, to give the house the electricity in whatever areas that we want. we went a little bit larger on the system than we probably needed to go, but it's just because, I'm getting old, so I like a little bit of comfort. And then we have a generator. And so what the generator does is the system, so whatever, we get a hurricane comes through here, the system goes down, hurricane crashes everything. The generator, the solar is keeping a well, which is our water running and everything else. Nighttime hits, we exhaust the solar, generator kicks on and runs off the propane that we have. It takes 1 hour of propane to charge the solar to run the house for 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. Now we've got a battery wall coming in.
Okay.
Thank you, Elon Musk, for being a genius. So the battery wall comes in. So what happens is the propane, instead of charging up the house and keeping the house running, actually in 2 hours charges the battery wall for 8 hours.
Okay.
Which gets us till sunup. And because we're in Florida, the sun runs, it's sunny basically every day.
So are you though?
So we're really good. And then the idea is eventually to put a second tank out there, someplace in the middle of the woods where nobody can find it, and then I'm just kidding. I'm just being paranoid. It's just a prepper. Don't freak out and send me weird DMs. So the idea is then to have a second tank out there, because it's a hell of a lot cheaper to put a second tank out in the middle of no place than it is to dig up the old one and put a new one, a bigger one in. And so when the propane runs out, the next tank gets on. Now, I would like to do diesel, but the cost is just prohibitive right now. Valerie is just laughing at me. Well, you know what? I said people find me funny when I'm drunk, and then Wayne just keeps laughing at me, so.
I'm laughing with you, not directly at you.
It's fine.
I'm going back to the whole thing, though. So you have the solar grid. Are you not allowed to use the electricity that it generates right now?
No, I'm allowed to. So right now, any electricity I generate, I sell back to the state.
Oh, okay.
It's my buddy. You want to say hi to everybody? Well, come here. Everybody, this is Peanut. Peanut, this is everybody. Say hi.
Hello, Peanut.
Hi, buddy. Oh, you're going to be shy now? You're going to be shy?
He's like, I don't know these people.
Hey, can I give you a kiss goodnight? I love you. Okay, go find mommy. Okay, go to mommy. Let's go. Go to mommy. Good night. I love you. I'm talking on here with Wayne. Well, there are some other people on here, yes. Well, nobody can hear you because I've got headphones on. I know, but no, this is daddy time. No, you can't have the cord. Jim, okay, you want to come back. So anyway, so that's, yeah, he is the cutie. But I'm not, so the reason why I'm not technically allowed to be off the grid is I'm not allowed to cut the cord, so to speak.
Right.
Like sever the cord from the grid and be totally on my own. So that's why we're kind of getting there, but we're not. But if the grid went down,
you're okay.
Yeah.
They
hold on a second. I'll take the headphones out. There we go. Go ahead. Say hello. Say hi. Hi.
That was a good wave. I like that wave.
Can you hear us?
Now, I know that you understood that perfectly because I had children. And when they, right? I agree, Peanut. I agree that he understands you. Because when I had children, I still have children, when my kids were that age, they have a language that only the parents can understand.
Oh, wait a second. Hold a second. The internet is look at this. Rachel Pearson makes a big cameo.
Wow.
You never see that. So this is the entire
The Newman clan.
This is the entire Newman prepper clan. So when you guys are all watching The Stand, if you haven't seen it, watch The Stand. And then when you're watching it or reading it, you said it, Tina. When you're watching it and you all go, oh, wow, Sean doesn't seem so crazy right now. All right. Good night, buddy. I love you.
To bed. Lovely to see you, Wayne. Bye.
Good seeing you too.
Say night-night, everybody.
Good night, buddy. Come here.
Say night-night. You say night-night to Wayne.
Say
Yeah,
bye-bye.
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 But I know he was having a conversation with me, Valerie. Believe me, I was having one back. That was probably the most intelligent conversation I've had all day. No offense, Sean.
Hold on. I'm putting putting everything back in. Hey, Louis.
Yeah, no, I mean that's my day every day. So I'm the happiest person in the world, man. I get to hang out with my kid. I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, I've got a question. What makes you more happier? An episode of The Mandalorian or Cobra Kai?
Oh, Mandalorian. Oh, it's not even close.
Oh, come on.
Listen to me. I understand you're not a real sci-fi person. Thank you for all the people who are giving love to my son and my wife. They are really the best part of the operation here. Listen, Cobra Kai is great. It's fun and it's nostalgic, but The Mandalorian fulfills such an inner child. I can't even explain. It's just, the only reason why I'm on Twitter is because of the Star Wars fans that I'm hooked up with, because I have nobody in my life to talk Star Wars with. I actually, and you know this, so I don't know if people realize this on here on Instagram. I am such a Star Wars geek. I've had Mark Hamill pop by. Skywalker, how cool is that? I was like 6, and Luke Skywalker was the first one, and he saw my Instagram. Like, I'm that much of a nerd. Gina Carano from The Mandalorian, who, by the way, I would sell my parents into slavery for. Gina, I love you. You're amazing. Come over. I'll give you pizza. I'm married, but I give you pizza.
He would even order a pizza to be flown in.
No, I would make it. Trust me, it'd be fantastic. And then I make a good ragu. And then Rosario Dawson checked it out. I mean, this is cool stuff. Dave Filoni, who is like George Lucas, Dave Filoni. So so that part of my inner child is being filled. Hey, killed the bottle.
Nicely done.
Yeah. So so that's not much of a it's not much of a choice in that one.
Geez, I thought with this season of Cobra Kai, you would be. It would, to me, it was up there with The Mandalorian for entertainment.
Yeah, listen, it's fun and I enjoy it, but Sneakers is like 100%. Like, screw Mandalorian. Hey, you're not a Star Wars fan, man.
I don't know. Sneakers might be agreeing.
Cheers.
With you.
Have a drink for me. I am. Star Wars was my childhood, and I'm forever a Star Wars fan. And The Mandalorian for a Star Wars fan has been everything. The movies were a different topic, one that that the gardening people would not appreciate. And that's a whole different subject.
Oh man. Oh, a heart just flew through our screen.
I know. Finishing the bottle. Amen.
I like that. It wasn't even for the show. It was drink the alcohol.
Bottle, man. Listen, it's called drinking and thinking for a reason. So
the more we drink, the less we think.
Oh, you're going to love this. So I actually recorded the other day. So I had somebody ship me a product a while back. I'm Mandalorian all the way. Sneakers, you are officially on my cool list, and I'm now going to follow your page, because if you post anything up on The Mandalorian, we are like that. So anyway, what was I talking about?
Even I lost the train of thought on that one.
Yeah, no, I was talking about something. I don't remember. I don't remember. I just, I'm on the end. Valerie's laughing at me. See, I told you people find this funny. Um, no, I really just drew a blank, dude. I just kind of like hit the wall on that one. Hello, LeClaire. I mean, I could talk plants, but I know you don't care.
I do care about
they
plants.
They might care, but I don't care.
I've never understood actually in Star Wars and all the movies. Only once did I ever see it done on Star Trek where they had a plant to help create oxygen in the ship. Because I'm
dude,
like,
that's boring stuff. Nobody cares about that. Hello, MC. How are you? Hello, LeClaire.
I like the technical aspect.
Well, welcome to two drunk guys who started talking plants and somehow have wound up on like why there are no plants in Star Wars. So I apologize. And as we start losing people because of this conversation, good job, Wayne.
All right, fine. What do you want to talk about then? We'll kick it over to you, drunkie.
Drunkie. So, okay, here's something that, so I recorded, I was shipped a product the other day called Cinderite. I'm not a side person at all. Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person, Valerie. So I was shipped this product called Cinderite, and I had put up a video and I really didn't know much, and I actually feel bad because I didn't do the product justice. So some random company sent me this product to try, and I still don't know why you want your soil magnetized, but it corrects pH, it does all this other stuff. And I had these dragon fruit, which if you haven't tried them, Wayne, they're delicious and they're yummy, and they're like, I don't know, $4 each over at Whole Foods. It's like stupid. So I had bought a plant that was half dead, and so I got a good price on it. But I followed their instructions and I planted it, and I did a half-ass video, and I actually feel bad because I just re-recorded everything. The growth that I've got from using this Cinderite has been amazing, and I recorded it like that, not like that, but like that. Greenhouse Girl, how are you? So Greenhouse Girl is the page to follow. I am just a huge slobbering fanboy about Greenhouse Girl. Gretchen is amazing. So anyway, so this product Cinderite it was mind blowing because I had this dragon fruit that was half dead, and I don't know, man. Something shows up, you just try it, right? Like, who cares?
Right.
So I tried it, and I planted it up, and then I did for the main plant that was half shot when I bought it, and then I took 2 cuttings off the plant. I put one in the Cinderite and one off it. And the one in the Cinderite everything that was planted in the Cinderite shoots off these beautiful new growths. And I recorded the video. I'm actually going to do a YouTube one. I might send it to you to be edited, but I actually did it the right way, and it was phenomenal. And I had done the Cinderite on some of the dragon fruit seeds that I had propagated, and they took the ones that I used it on. They look amazing. And I've done nothing. It's all the same soil, no different watering pattern, nothing, no extra fertilizer, no fish emulsion, nothing. Just looks amazing. So I'm like, oh my God, this is great. So then now I've got those heirloom tomatoes that we talked about.
Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? I really would love to get that flavor, that different type of flavor. Hello, Danny. That different type of flavor. Sorry, I've had a couple of drinks, so it took me a little longer to hit the wave button, but I'm trying. So it took me, so I used the Cinderite, and I really want that flavor in the tomatoes that I had when I was in Italy.
Okay.
And I kind of think it's the same thing for when you talk about like Cuban cigars, right? Because they have that real volcanic soil, and it adds something, a different pH or a different mineral content to it that gives it a certain type of flavor. And I'm a cigar guy also. So, anybody who likes Cuban cigars, please send. I will take all that you are giving. But so I want to take the Cinderite, which is made from volcanic pumice, and infuse it with some of the tomatoes because I want to see if I can achieve that flavor. But what it's done has been ridiculous for the dragon fruit. And so now I recorded it. I think I did it the right way. But yeah, I'm going to get I'm going to get this thing edited up. And that's why I've avoided YouTube because the editing process is such a pain in the ass. And yeah, I'm going to get this up. But I want to do it right for this company because they sent it to me and I never requested anything. I never asked them anything. And they sent me this product and it's far exceeded anything that I could have hoped for.
How much did they send you? Was
like
it
5 pounds of the stuff?
Wow.
Yeah, no. I mean, Cinderite has been like, I'm really surprised. And I tried going out and getting like another volcanic product locally to see if I could just pick it up. Nobody's got anything. And I was going to do something on, like Amazon or something just to kind of compare the products. But like, why? I mean, the product that they sent me was really good. It's phenomenal. I mean, again, I've got to do some research on the paramagnetics. Hello, Mama. On the paramagnetics, but the growth that I've seen from everything that I've used it on, there's got to be something there because it just wasn't like all succulents and it just wasn't all in the nightshade family and it wasn't all just in herbs. I did it with 5 or 6 different control across the spectrum and had amazing results with this. And so, I really want to run some tests on it and see how it goes.
So for this summer, I should order some of this stuff and have the best.
I would say definitely order this Cinderite. Try it. I mean, I don't know how much a bag is because again, they sent it to me for free, but I'm definitely going to buy one if they don't. Even if they don't like my videos, I'm going to send one, order it because it was whatever it did to the mineral content and the pH in the soil was so good that it legitimately gave me a better yield and a better growth on plants than I could have expected, and I didn't want to use it on everything. Like I haven't used it on houseplants yet because I wanted to see what it did. But I've got houseplants. Hold on, let me so as you can see in the background and right there, right? So I do, even though I moved to Florida and I sold a lot of houseplants before I got out of here, out of New York, I'm going to use it on houseplants, Valerie. I'm going to do another, I've recorded another video. I'm going to edit it and I'm going to get it up. The company is Cinderite. You mix it into the soil. And I'm really interested in seeing how this goes with houseplants, but I'm really expecting a really good yield on it. The difference with Florida, with my well water, even though it's purified, I have a higher manganese than you might have up north. But yeah, man, it was pretty cool to see that. So I'm definitely going to. I do have some Dracaenas in the back. You can see the monsteras keeping Peanut, greenhouse girl, from getting to see Santa Claus. There are some Ming Aurelias. That is a half-dead cutting of Pilea that I used. That's a watermelon Pilea and some Calitha that I have. I've got more in the bathroom.
Was that a Tiffany lamp?
Because it is a Tiffany lamp. I got more in the bathroom because it's a little humid in there and better lighting than this room, believe it or not. So, yeah. So, but yeah, I was really, whoops. Oh. Had a little too much to drink, what can I tell you? But I was really surprised with this product. And my poor wife has been listening to me rant and rave about Cinderite. And yeah, so I'm going to get some more, and I'm going to order this stuff, and I'm going to do some better videos. I really am. Florida has, so you're going to laugh, Gretchen. So the soil, for the most part, is just damn sand. with some grass growing on top of it that you just keep cutting and throw down, which the primary plant life coming on and you cutting it down, it kind of puts the nitrogen in there. But I have 8 acres of wetland on my property. And so what I do is I was digging and planting some plants into the wetlands. The soil there is the richest, blackest soil I've seen outside of a bag. So, you know, I might start, I don't know, start moving stuff around and driving my wife crazy. So everything for me about here is trying to figure out how to build the soil up, whether it's in crab shell or nitrogen or blood meal or compost. We can't use the manures because of the long-term herbicides that are in the hay that they give these animals. So, which is a shame because I've got so much horse manure out here. I can't, you know, who the hell knows? But so that's kind of the problem, which be careful because even though they say organic, hello loves plants, even though they say organic, and Valerie, I missed it. I'm hoping Wayne saw what you wrote. But even though they say organic, the long-term herbicides they're using in the feed, not so good. Hello, Pearl.
What Valerie wrote was she's going to wait until you try it on the plants because she has a 35-year-old plant that I think she's considering it on.
Okay, so I will tell you what I know it will do, Valerie. It will definitely improve the drainage. It will definitely improve the drainage on your plant. Hello, Amy. It will definitely improve the drainage in your plant. It'll definitely correct the pH in the soil, which is huge because most potting soils, you know what you got, but once you get past that first year, you should change your potting soil out because your plant has pulled all the organic matter and changed the pH out, and nobody ever does. So it'll definitely help with all that. That being said, I don't know enough about this magnetism to give you like an actual thoughtful answer. I will learn, trust me. Hello, Amy. So I would highly recommend giving it a go. Go check them out. If you can get a quick, please just come up with your own brand and I'll sell it. Damn, Gretchen's funny, dude. So she did this. She put up a post the other day of a house plant. And Gretchen, forgive me, I'm 3 scotches in, 4 scotches maybe at this point.
Yeah, maybe 4, possibly 5.
Yeah. Hello, Stanley. So, but she put up a post of a house plant that was really slow growing, but it's a beautiful house plant. And me having too much time on my hands and my wife not being around me to tell me no, I went on Etsy and bought, hold on a second, I paid $30 for a 2-inch cutting.
Sean, check your purchases at this point with your wife. I've been where you are. Too much time on the hand. It always seems like a good purchase. It's never a good purchase.
Listen, it's Florida. You plant it out in the wetlands, it grows. I mean, we harvested 28 pounds of lemons. You saw the video of Peanut throwing them. It was great. So, so my wife is giggling over there right now. So, So Gretchen, so what I wanted to say was, so when my wife took me to Italy for my birthday, which was just, you know, for a history major in college was like, you just, your mind gets blown. But when we go and we're tasting all the food and the food tastes so good. And then as a gardener, you sit there and go, okay, well, I would really love to replicate this. Hello, Trees Boy. I'd really love to replicate this back wherever I live. And what do they have that I don't have? And they don't have the volcanic matter that we have. I mean, they have it that we don't.
Right.
We don't have the volcanic matter, and they have it. So I have a couple of friends who are in the soil industry and they have a soil company. And what I'd really like to do, and I'm going to run a few tests here, but what I'd really like to do is I'd like to see if I can replicate that. Because that kind of flavor that you get from those tomatoes, if I could replicate that and put it in a bag, I would have sold it to you for $25. You are lying. You put up on your Instagram that you would not sell a cutting, so don't even hand me that. Which, by the way, I've got a vanilla vine cutting if you want that I'll sell you for $100. So if I can replicate that in a bag that has that type of soil content, that even though tomatoes are a South American plant, they go to Italy, and because of the volcanic soil and everything just goes amazing, and you get this flavor in your tomatoes. I can replicate that in a bag, man. That would be just a home run. I mean, that would be, who wouldn't want to be that? You know, who wouldn't want to, you know, if you came into my store and you wanted to plant, you know, tomatoes and vegetables for your garden, I'm like, well, we have this brand, we have Miracle Grow that's all full of chemicals, and I've got this organic brand that I'm telling you, your plants, you're going to have a flavor you're not going to imagine, and people are going to think you're a cook that you aren't doing.
Well, these discussions that we're having
Gene.
are making me want to have a better garden this year, which Danielle's going to be thankful for, because I leave all the gardening up to her, and she does a great job.
Hey, hang on one second. So, my wife's niece, Emily E. Franklin, 91, just is waving to me. She's in Sydney. They just had a beautiful little baby. And when I say beautiful, like Breakheart's beautiful little baby boy. And Emily is one of the best people I've ever met in my life. And so thank you. And Rach, Emily is on the live thing waving at us. She says, hi, Em. So, yeah. The product that I mentioned, Kathy, is called Cinderite. And I have a video on there. I'm going to be putting up a video as soon as I can get it edited, maybe a day or two. Hey, Gabi Gonzalez, how are you today? And so I'm going to get that up there as quickly as I can. Stop, you flatter me. No, Emily's really great. I mean, it made me feel like part of the family, and her and her husband are just lovely people. And so I'm going to get this video up as quickly as I can because it's a really good product. I never requested it. They sent it to me, and I'm hooked on it. So, yeah, Cinderite is something I would definitely recommend, and I'm definitely going to be using. And I definitely want to see how it works here in Florida with the crappy soil that we have. Hello, Ahis. How are you tonight? So yeah, go on Google search Cinderite. I would put it up there, but I'm using off my phone. I haven't figured out how to put Instagram live on my computer. So Cinderite, as it's spelled.
Nice.
I
think we should end it with that one, Sean. The Kathy saying thank you for that.
Yeah.
And it's good. I know I learned a lot listening to you on this, so I always appreciate it.
Oh, you're hysterical. So for people who don't know, Wayne sits there and goes, dude, I learned something last night, and you drink too much. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fair.
I never say you drink too much.
And then you go, and then I say to you, well, when are you putting the podcast up? And you're like, I'll get to the webpage one day. And I'm like, dude, I keep telling people about podcasts, and you keep telling me whatever.
No, I have.
Did I tell you? Actually, I don't. So Gretchen, I don't do a big bourbon. And if you've got to go, you can sign off. I'm not a big bourbon guy. I do it in mixed drinks, but I do. And thank you, Valerie, for watching last week's too. You definitely are a glutton for punishment. I started a bottle of Glenlivet 18 last week, and I finished it tonight. So I'm not a huge bourbon drinker, but when I do drink it, I like
the good stuff.
Good stuff is all subjective. If you like something, it's good, right? But no, usually I have a cocktail that I mix it with. I don't drink bourbon straight. I drink scotch, obviously straight. I drink whiskey straight, but I don't drink bourbon straight. But I do have. Hold on, I'm going to sound like a really drunk guy. Ready? Hey, Rach. What type of bourbon do we have? She said I don't know, but in her brain it was it was like you're an a-hole. Oh, nothing to be sorry about. I do drink bourbon. It's just like I said, just not tonight. So yeah, so that was
Sean,
that's been going on.
Sean, I'm going to give you a rule of life that my uncle gave me once with all alcohol. Learn to drink it straight because you never know when you're going to have ice or anything to
What'd you say?
put in it.
Oh, okay.